Hello and welcome to the EAVI Conversations Podcast, where we explore a wide range of topics with inspiring and thoughtful guests. Thanks for joining us. Let's dive in. Genie Godula is a seasoned broadcast journalist based in Paris. She's known for anchoring the English language news on France 24 and co-hosting the French lifestyle show French Connections. With more than 2 decades of experience across French TV and radio, and as a parent herself, Genie brings a grounded, relatable perspective to challenges of digital parenting. In our conversation, we asked her, how can parents set boundaries across screens without being overwhelmed by guilt? Genie shared a simple but powerful strategy. Let's hear about it.
I think the best way to do it is to bring the child on board and to create what you're doing together, the plan together. So for example, if you're going to talk about consequences, if the child download some app that you don't want the child to download, you have to together ahead of time talk about what the consequences will be. And if you and the child have sat down before and the child has said, well, I think if I mess up, you should take my phone away for 3 days, then the child has been part of the process. So when that happens and you say, okay, I'm taking your phone away for 3 days, the kid will be involved. And because the child's involved, I think then as the parent, you should feel less guilty because it was a decision you made together. You can feel, of course, you're going to feel bad because your child is sad or whatever, but then maybe that's a perfect excuse to go do something else with the child. Like, hey, let's go get coffee or go, I don't know, just go to the movies or something fun that is not involving the child being alone on a digital screen. But I think the guilt, it's hard to be a parent. And so I think the guilt's normal. So what I did with my children is I downloaded a phone contract, which basically says that the phone is a privilege, not a right, and it's something that we as parents are giving to the child. But because it's a privilege, the child has to earn the privilege, which means they have to have good behavior to get the phone. And if there's bad behavior, then the phone can be taken away. So that's what we did. But again, we established it with my daughter and my son, and we had them put an input of what they thought was fair. For example, I would say, I think the phone should be shut off permanently at 9 o'clock every night. And my kids said, well, no, that's not cool on the weekends. I want to stay up later, talk to my friends. So we compromised and we said, okay, 11 o'clock, but it's in writing. So that way, if ever they go past 11 o'clock, I say, oh, it's past 11 o'clock. It's in the contract. And so it's something that we worked on together. Even though they might not like it, at least they were involved. And so they feel implicated.
We also asked for her perspective on what's something parents can teach their kids at home when it comes to media literacy or navigating news online.
That's a good question too. I tend to go to platforms that I trust. So for example, Elizabeth Milovidov's platform, her digital parenting site on Facebook, has loads of great information. I would send them to the France 24 website. That's the station I work for because Elizabeth and I do a segment once a month on digital parenting where she gives good tips. And there's a great site called Common Sense Media that has a lot of information, especially if you're wondering about checking out if a video game is appropriate, if a movie is appropriate, a TV show. And so I find there's a lot of good content there as well.
Thank you for listening to the EAVI Conversations Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to explore some other episodes or check out our social media platforms. Stay tuned. There's more to come.